Evan Turner was the National Player of the Year for Ohio State, and I realized that he's wasn't in this decade for his entire career, but I mean, you cannot leave this guy out.
The fact that he was a National Player of the Year, the fact that, you know, they did win the Big Ten and win the Big Ten tournament, I think all certainly helped his case.
Just had a fantastic season on a really, really good Ohio State team.
He would have set any record he wanted to set had he stayed in the Big Ten longer.
He's a big shot maker, and maybe we're spoiled by the highlights that we continue to see, but Evan Turner certainly delivered when asked.
Just a super talented individual. Had great size, had a really good handle, was lethal in the mid-range, get to the basket.
His ability to really affect all aspects of the game.
And a pass inside by Turner to Lauderdale.
I'm not sure we've seen a better all-around talent in the last decade than Evan Turner.
I remember stories coming out of Chicago where he grew up on the west side, a few miles away from the United Center, and I like to think that his game was more like Scottie Pippen, but his role sometimes for Ohio State had to be more like Michael Jordan. He had to take over games.
Even though it was a small amount of time in this decade, it's when it happened. And when you hit big-time shots on big moments, and we all know what we're talking about, the game winner, you definitely get to make my list.
Just an amazing do-it-all guy that rebounded, that shot it much better than people thought, especially if he was at half court against us.
His signature moments, I mean, it's clear to me in thinking back, like what stands out. It's that Big Ten tournament that he had where Ohio State won the conference title. He had the remarkable shot, the in-rhythm 35-footer to beat Michigan.
Turner at midcourt, inside it, at the buzzer, got it!
So that was one of the craziest finishes that I'd ever seen live as a sports fan, as a young sports writer, and it still remains, very vivid in my memory.
When I think about Evan Turner, I will always think about that shot. It was his MJ moment. It was his Kobe moment. It was the moment that every kid dreams about.
And isn't it fitting in that 1 year that we're considering Evan Turner here for being on the All-Decade team, that he started out this decade with one of the greatest shots in Big Ten tournament history.
That entire junior year, he was the best guy in the country, and that's why he made it onto this team.